everyone. Coming from rainy Seattle. It's a little cool and gray and rainy as you would expect today. And thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity to share with your guests here, with your agents. And I'm licensed in Washington, Arizona, and Texas. Like Joe said, it's my 24th year. I'm finishing up, starting my 25th year. I was at John L. Scott, a regional brokerage, for 19 years before I left to come to EXP. And I did that during COVID in 2021. And got my Texas license first. And then it kind of opened up a door where I needed to find a brokerage in Texas. And one of my friends who asked me about EXP a year before, and I told him, no, he's a smart guy. He'll make a great decision. Like, I'm sure it works for him, but I'm happy where I'm at because they left me alone. So what about collaboration there? I'm like, just leave me alone and let me do my thing. That's pretty much how I wanted to be dealt with back then. I didn't go to the office. I had an office, but I never went there because I just felt like everybody would just pick your brain the whole entire time and ask you questions and you could never get anything done. So interestingly enough, I'm super social, love people. When I came to EXP, it's like a mindset shift. It went from feeling like everything was protected behind a door where you're afraid of someone stealing your information and ideas to this whole new world where we're sharing everything. Also at my old brokerage, I'd gotten to the point at about 3,000 agents. Last couple of years, I was number one agent at that company. And I felt like I wasn't being challenged. I felt like there was nothing really that I was chasing to grow and growth opportunities. And when I saw that we had over 80,000 agents, at the time when I joined, we had about 42,000 at EXP. Oh, no, we had like 33,000 agents at EXP. And I'll start my fifth year at EXP in June and just finished my fifth icon this last month. So we moved pretty fast and furious, but it's been really cool. I just feel like, when I saw that, it just the ability to be mentored by other agents that were doing more volume than I was doing. And I just felt like it's hard to, continue to grow if no one else is coming up with new ideas and a lot of innovation and how to grow your business. And that's one of the things I loved the most about coming to EXP is the opportunity, like you were saying, to share and collaborate. And iron sharpens iron, and everybody makes everybody else better. I think our mindset of being owners in the company versus just an isolationist attitude that most individual brokerages have, I think was really eye-opening. And it was weird for a second, like when you first come. I don't know if anybody else felt that way too. Like you first get there and you're like, wow, this feels foreign because everyone's genuinely being nice and trying to help each other. I'm like, this is so weird. So I'm opening up my screen so I can see everybody. So it was a lot different than what I was used to. So last year I was number 9 in the company for out of all the agents, which was pretty cool. But then I was irritated that I wasn't the number 1. So every year you're like trying to do better. When I was number 13, I was like, oh, I didn't break the top 10. So this year my goal is to, hopefully get in the top 5. Right now I think I'm number 51, which is hilarious as you start crawling. So, but I have about 105, $110 million worth of volume, coming on paper that I'm working on right now. I've got 9 active listings. What do I have? 9 active listings, 36 listings coming on, about 25 buyers I'm working with. So that's kind of my bench right now, about 60 to 65 clients I'm actively working with right now. That's 25 years of business. So it didn't happen overnight. It's 25 years of growth and intentionality. And I can share with you kind of where that business came from. Just because people are like, oh gosh, open houses don't work. Farming doesn't work. I don't do expired canceled because I hate rejection and I don't want somebody to tell me no. So it's a really interesting kind of organic way that I have grown the business. My husband is my business partner. He's worked with me since a year into the business. When I got my license, my youngest was 2 weeks old. So I literally had a 2-week-old. I had 6 kids under the age of 10 when I got started. So I was pretty busy, young mom. And then my husband's taken the marketing side of the business. So he's been able to free me up to work one-on-one with the clients. One of the ways I get in front of the people to begin with to get the listing appointments, because a lot of people are buyer centric, buyer heavy. New in my career, I was probably definitely more heavy on being a buyer's agent versus a listing agent. I think to control the business, eventually elevating and moving over towards being more of a listing agent, you control the listings, you control the business more. Listings have babies. So then that's what Brent likes to say, Brent Go, listings have babies. So if you have a listing, it can spin off other listings, right? And so right now, like I said, I have 9 active currently. I think I have 6 pending and I have 14 already, maybe 15 coming up for April. So a lot of listings coming up, which is crazy. So one of the ways we've been able to get the phone to ring and get these listings are through direct mail marketing. So, some of it is just 25 years of working in a neighborhood, but a lot of it we've started to get my foot in the doors through direct mail marketing. Now, when budgets are tight, what's the first thing agents do? They pull back on marketing. That's the thing that you need to go in because while everyone else is retracting, you need to go in hard because that's the opportunity for you because there's a gap, right? There's a gap that no one's serving. So you need to jump in and start, filling that need. Do many of you see a lot of direct mail coming into your mail, postcards, newsletters? Does anybody see much coming in right now? So that's the reason. It's kind of like a blue ocean. So you want to jump in where everyone else is not. So what we do is we send out a newsletter. So I'll show you one thing that we do. So we send out a monthly newsletter, and this goes to 4 different neighborhoods. We mail to about 15,000 homes a month. We started off with about 1,000 20 years ago. And so this is a marketing piece. It's a newsletter. And basically what it'll have, it has community specific information. So 2 of the neighborhoods are 4,500 feet, 4,500 homes. One is 1,500 homes, and the other one, gosh, 3 of them are about 4,500. So 3 4,500 home communities, and one's 1,000 or 1,500. So basically, it's going to have number of new listings year over year from last year to this year, the median sales price from last year to this year, how many days on market compared to a year ago, number of listings sold this year versus last year, median sales price, and how many under contract. And then on the back, I'm showcasing my listings. So that's one of my listings. We have a QR code on it so they can scan it. And we trend mortgage rates, list to sales price ratio, rent ratio. And then they can scan a QR code here to go into a no obligation opportunity to meet with me, to get me to come over and do a CMA. I got one of these last night. I was like, are you just looking for a general evaluation, or would you like a more detailed proposal where I come and evaluate your home in person and answer any questions that you have? So that is one of the things that we get from this newsletter. And so people save these. It's the weirdest thing. It's heavy cardstock, but and I can send you guys a template of this that Jeff can share with you guys. But what it does is it gets the phone to ring. And so you need something that's going to get you in the door, right? And so in my opinion, that has been the most successful thing that we've done to get the phone to ring. And then we circle prospects. So you can do like a 5-5-10 or a 10-10-20 at your open house. So and it gives you an excuse to, and we do a door hanger before the open house, announcing the open house to the community, letting them know that we're doing an open house. On the back of the door hanger, I should go get one. On the back of the door hanger, I'm going to get it for you. The door hanger has a QR code on the back. It invites them to the open house, puts the date to the open house. So we, with a little Arnie, hang these on the door to let them know that we're doing an open house in the neighborhood. And I do this in my farm areas that I'm marketing to, that I want to be the dominant listing agent in. So it's a layering process. So the more you do in showing that you're the neighborhood expert, the less you're going to have to do in selling yourself at the appointment, if that makes sense. So if you are the point of difference, like if you're the obvious point of difference between what another person's offering and what you're offering, it definitely separates you. So this here is a magazine that I advertise in that same neighborhood. I've had this page about 8 to 10 years. These were our 8 listings that we had with QR codes, so they could go to what's called the landing page. So if they went to a landing page of ours, it's going to have our cinematic video, our 3D Matterport walkthrough. I'm wondering how I can scan a landing page. You know what, Jeff, can you see if you can scan one of these and see if it'll work? Okay, can you hold that up to the camera and just kind of show them? So this is what, sorry that I couldn't do it. I could have done it, I guess, on my phone too.
No, it's okay.
So that's what a landing page looks like. And if you scroll up a little bit, Jeff, yep. So this is going to show you, yep, keep going. So that's our cinematic video. Okay, that's the 3D walkthrough at the top. So like a Matterport 3D walkthrough, that's a cinematic video of the listing. That's me talking about all the parks. It's on YouTube, all the parks in that community. Then it's going to show the Matterport floor plan of the home. And then it's going to, yep, keep going, the description about the property. And then it's going to give you bullets. So bullet features. Let me let Patricia Ann in. And it's going to do more bullets. And then it's going to bring our MLS limits us to 40 photos. So it's going to do 40 photos of the property. Oh, good question. What's the URL? Excellent question, Craig.
Here, I can.
And at the bottom,
I'll put the URL in
yeah,
the chat.
yeah. And then we can open it up. And then a little description of me. That's what I
Mhm.
look like when I get more ready in the morning. Just kidding. So, yeah, so you can put that in there. I'll enter and let Jane come in. So when you're trying to be a dominant listing agent, there's several steps to separate yourself out from the competition. Most agents are lazy. They don't want to put the work in or invest the money. But if you invest the money, you will get more money in return. So one of the things we do, like in our farm areas, everything gets a 4-page brochure. So everything, all the listings, this is one of the newsletters, but this is our annual newsletter, but everything's going to get a 4-page brochure on heavy cardstock paper. So it's going to be like 900 weight or whatever it is. It's the good paper. So you want to make sure that everything you do is going to market you well and market your listing. It's a reflection on your listing, which is a reflection on you. If you elevate your marketing above anyone else in the community, they're going to want to work with you. You're going to be the obvious choice. The 4-page brochure. So someone's asking some questions here. Let me just jump in and answer some questions.
So Caleb was asking if you have and Caleb, if you want to unmute yourself so you can ask your question, so everybody can hear it, that'd be great.
Yeah, I was just curious. I didn't want to interrupt the flow, so I was just throwing them in there. But I was curious about what printing company you
Yeah.
use. If you use local, do you use one that ships for you?
Yeah.
Do you market only to those neighborhoods in this way, or when you get listings outside of those neighborhoods, do you then do all of that?
I don't. I keep it pretty much to my local area. I would say 70% of my listings right now are local. I don't go outside of the farm area much and do a lot in extra marketing there, unless it's a really high price point, and then I'll try to circle prospect to get more business. So we now have an in-house printer that we do these on. So both of those are on our in-house printer, which is actually,
Nice.
you can tell, nice quality. So we leased a Canon this year, and we buy the paper from a paper company. But I was spending about 8 to 10,000 a month, which is a lot of money on the newsletter for 15,000, but it generates over 7 figures in income a year. So we leased a Canon for like 1,500. We have one that's like bigger than what they have at FedEx and Kinko's, huge. And I pay 4.3 cents per side per click for color and 1.1 cent for black and white. So if you do like an 11 by 17, cut it in half. So one sheet is giving me, so one piece of paper, I'm getting 2 newsletters out for 10 cents. Normally you're going to pay about 40 cents, 50 cents. There's a company in Oregon that you can go to called Bear Printing, BEAR printing.com, and they ship nationwide. So they do our full gloss flyers for our listings. So like initially, this is good. Like this is really nice. This is nicer than 99% of anybody out there that's doing, right? But when I want a little bit more elevated in our farm area, we actually spend about $80 to $100 for 100 flyers. And then those go in the box and everything else. Agents are like, oh, no one pulls flyers. We don't put flyers in boxes. I don't know what part of the country you're in. If no one else is putting flyers in the boxes, then put flyers in the boxes. Don't, just because everyone else is cheap and doesn't want to do it, don't join them. So if you just do small things, spend $100 here or there, it's going to be a huge difference maker. Another thing, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these in the areas that you're in. It's called a permaflyer. It's about 24 by 18. I'm going to go on to Bear actually. I'm going to share my screen.
And really quick, if I could, so Kim,
Yes.
obviously you're at not the height yet because you're still wanting to grow and still wanting to get to first, but you're at a higher level than a lot of other agents as far as what you spend. But it's it's something where I think you could still I'm just saying this for all the other agents on this call. Like you could start at a much lower level.
I started
really
at 500.
Right, just focus on one neighborhood and but I would also say kind of what you were just saying that's powerful is we're always hearing about oh the next great thing, AI or whatever it is, and how so many people out there though are still more traditional, so they still like to have something in their hand, they still like to pull flyers in front of a house.
They save them. They literally have folders. When I go to their listings, you guys, they will pull out folders. It's crazy. With 2 years, 5 years of these, they're like, we love this. We save all of them. I'm like, So I go home and tell my husband, guess what? It wasn't me that earned this listing today. It was you, because you're the one that created the content that got the phone to ring. I just have to go close the deal. And if you close enough deals, it gets a lot easier, right? Because then your confidence goes up. One builds on another. And if you offer more in marketing than anyone else, you're the obvious choice. Like there's no question. So let me show you. This is Bear Printing. So if you go in here and they have templates, so you don't have to recreate like from nothing. Okay. So here is a flyer. So you can go in and just use their template if you're not super creative. Just use what they have, and they're beautiful. These are postcards. So this, you can use a postcard campaign. You don't even have to use a newsletter. You can go in and it's an AI generated snapshot. So they will help you customize and build this. So what we were just talking about on this newsletter, you guys, with data and information, all you do is extract it and you mail this to your farm. And they can help you mail it, or you can mail it directly yourself. I use Everydoor direct marketing through the Postal Service, and I'll kind of show you pricing on that. It ends up being about a half to a third. So EDDM.com if you don't do mailings. Right now, Everydoor direct marketing. And so it'll pick like a neighborhood, and then you mail to everyone in that particular neighborhood. Sometimes there's a little bit of spillover that someone else outside of the neighborhood's getting it, but every person on that route gets it. So it drops the cost tremendously. But this is a great way to start also with a nice postcard. So if we were to jump into this, so total inventory, new listings on the market, pending listings, sold days on market, and then it's saying the percentage change year over year, months of supply, median sales price. And so you're doing year over year. There's a little bit of back that you have to go because you have to create everything from last year and then go into this year. And then the next year you do it, it's easier because as you're putting the year over, like the first year is the most difficult because you're going back, right? You're going back before you can stay and go forward. So if you go back, extract the information, the days on market, all of that. So then when you're creating the months ahead, but then you save all of that. And so when you go into 2027, you just go back and extract 2026's inventory as you're building out 2027. So this is a Gen AI neighborhood snapshot. And we can generate one now if we wanted to. We'll just try it here. I've never done this. Let's just see what we can do. But when you're the agent, I don't even know my passwords. Let's see.
As you're doing that, Kim, I want to just emphasize what Caleb hit there, everybody, because we got agents. There's all different levels of agents on here. Some have been in business 24 years, like Kim and I, others that just got licensed 6 months ago. You know, you don't start with an $8,000 a month printing budget. You know, it builds to that, you know, if you wanted to. It's up to you. What are your goals? You know, what's that, Kim?
Mine was like 300 or 500.
Yeah,
This is the
exactly.
deal. You do what you can afford to do every single month. Okay. And then you could take 1/4 of one neighborhood and you become the dominant listing in 1/4 of that neighborhood. And don't be afraid of other agents that are dominant. I kick them off all the time. Like, don't be afraid if there's competition. Competition's good. It makes everyone better. And if one person has 10% or 15% of the market, who has the other 85%? So if they're dominant with 20% of the market, 1 out of every 5, guess what? 4 out of every 5 are going to other people. So don't go after the 1 out of the 5. Let them have their 20%. Go after the other 80%. So don't be intimidated just because someone has market share. You can go in and chip off the people that they're not in close relationship with.
Yeah.
So don't ever let that intimidate you. But start with what you can afford. Is it 200 a month? Is it 300 a month? Is it 500 a month? Where do you cut back somewhere else in your marketing budget or business? Maybe it's Starbucks. But if you want to grow and become a dominant listing agent, this is the best way. And we can do it through digital and we can do it through print. I do it through both. So I'm going to do the thing that no one's doing is the print right now. People like to have stuff in their hand. They like to receive it. They still like to flip through it. I end up in the garbage sometimes. You know, another person called me, oh gosh, he's screaming at me a couple months ago. No, maybe a few weeks ago, screaming at me. I can't believe you're mailing this to me. Can you please? I don't want to see your face. I don't want to see your face in my mailbox. I'm like, oh, triggered much? So I was like, throw me away. Like, I don't care. Like, you can just throw it away. I mean, for you to take the time to actually call me
Yeah.
and to, do this is like crazy. Like, I literally started having a conversation with the guy and I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? And it had to do, he knew who I voted for president somehow through my Facebook and he doesn't align. And I was just like, you know what? We probably have more in common than we don't. Why don't we have a conversation? And so we got pretty far. We got about 5, 10 minutes into the conversation, and then
Wow.
when this got something triggered and we hung up. But I'm like, I don't want somebody mad at me. But I'm like, you don't even know me. You know nothing about me. Like I am providing marketing information and you're freaking out. So anyway,
What? Oh, you muted yourself, Kim. One of the things I want to hit here, guys, and Kim, if you want, you can speak to this too. But it's not just sending one or two postcards. Wow, that didn't work. You know what? This is consistency. It's building it up. You're muted, Kim. By the way, you muted yourself.
oh,
There you, there
sorry.
you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
and Jeff's right. So you want to mail at least once, preferably twice a month. So it could be like, it could be a newsletter or a postcard. A postcard's going to get you a little more bandwidth initially. When you have more information to share, you can go out to a letter, a full 8.5 by 11. And this fits EDDM, their criteria. So you can get by with 8.5 by 11 and it still meets their criteria. But you start off with what you can do once, if not twice. Twice a month's ideal. If you want to be a super big pain in the tush, mail weekly if you have the budget. And then you can really tick off all the agents. But twice a month's good. One's maybe neighborhood update information, and then one can be monthly events in the community. One can be just listed or just sold. One can be daylight savings time, one can be home tips. But in this, and there are other companies other than Bear, and they're in Oregon. Like a couple times I've literally driven down because I needed the flyers. I needed high-speed flyers. I drove 2.5 hours from Seattle to Portland to get them for my listing the next day. I drove 5 hours just so I could make sure I had the best flyers for my listing because no one else does as good a quality as them. So they actually used it in one of their testimonials. They're like, one of our agents drives 5 hours occasionally to get flyers. So hyper local monthly events, pretty cool. You can highlight a business. You can also go in with this on a lender initially. So if you're looking to not foot the whole bill yourself, find a lender partner that you guys can partner. And maybe you do the bigger sheet because you can't get a lot of information on the postcard, but you can do a 6 by 9 postcard even, and that still qualifies, or just go 8.5 by 11 here. It's a little bit bigger. But maybe get your lender to partner with you, and maybe one lender doesn't have enough financing to do all of it. So maybe you have one lender that you work with in this neighborhood. Once you get settled there, you have another lender that partners with you in this neighborhood. So you're kind of sharing the wealth. But these are just different things that they do. I'm going to show you another. Here
Kim?
is, yes.
Really quick on that. So you're sending something, one to two times a month, and you're sending it out now on the 8.5 by 11 or that size. Are you also doing anything digitally, like sending newsletters through email? Because I know you can farm those neighborhoods.
I have not, and we need to. At this point, it becomes a time issue, right? Because there's only so many hours in the day to do everything we're doing. Yesterday, I have a $2.5 million listing going on, and one of the former Seahawks, it's his mom's house. As he owns it, actually. I have his house listed for 8.5 million, and I'm helping with the lake house at 2.5. So I was there for 5 hours yesterday, packing boxes and helping. Totally below my pay grade, but it's like high touch service. So I have a friend of mine that does that for a living that I've hired to help me. So I do want to go to that, where you can put that newsletter on there. I also have for several of them Facebook pages that you could add that on there. You can also do this kind of information to your farm and sphere. I have not done that, but I should. Here's another thing too. If you don't have the money so here see, this is in a door hanger. And it's a circle like that. That's a door hanger. You can print this, have it sent to you, and you can walk the neighborhood. So at times in our career, when we didn't have money or we were just starting out, we would literally walk the neighborhood and just put them on the doors. So if you don't have the money for the postage, but you can have money for the print, walk the neighborhood. Take a week, spend 2 hours a morning, walk the neighborhood. And so when you do these things, you become the obvious choice in neighborhood expert. But when you're looking for ideas, here's the permaflyer I was telling you about. So this is a big acrylic, probably, I don't even know, 18 by 20, 18 by 24. Do you guys have yard arms, or do you have little teeny sticks, like the metal that go in the yard?
Do both.
Everything.
Okay. So for anybody who has like yard arms, we put these on all of our listings as a yard arm, and we also add the QR code on it. And these template, however, there's the QR code. These template however you want. So this right here would be taking you to the landing page. The landing page, we do it through lead pages. We do our landing page through lead pages. And so they scan the QR code, and then it takes them to the cinematic to the 3D Matterport walkthrough, to the cinematic video, to the floor plan of the house, to all of the photos, to the description. No one else is doing that, you guys. So when you go to a listing appointment and you're showing your point of difference, and then they have their cheesy paper flyer that, it looks like this. This is like that you can see through, and then you have that. It elevates. I mean, you're like the obvious choice. And at that point, like no one's not hiring you. I mean, occasionally, like I just lost one the other day. I would say at least 90 out of 100 listings. I lost one the other day. I've lost two this year, which normally I don't lose any, but I have like 50 appointments. So I'm not like super stressed. But, one, she's like, it's between you and another person. And it's really, really, really hard. You're both awesome. You're both incredible. It came to the fact that I'm almost too successful because she did not think that she was going to have enough hands on every single day for me. And I'm like, there's not a need for us to have an hour conversation every single day. Like, I'm here to serve you when you need it, but this is how it goes. And when I got there, I was like, oh my goodness. I wasn't really sad because it was like me applying to Harvard or Yale. It was a 5 full page, 2.5 hour question session of how I would respond and how I would do this and how many listings, how many houses, da 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 da. And I was just like, I try not to be annoyed, but I'm like, okay, this is funny. So I'm like, I'll play along. And I was very kind and very whatever. And I was like, you walk away from, do you guys ever walk away from a listing appointment? You're like, I hope they don't call me. Like, you're fine if they don't, because
I've had
it's going to
some
be
of
a total
those.
pain in the tush. That was it. And I'm like, okay, Keely, if you don't call me, I'm fine. Like, I'm not even worried. And she told me at one point, she's like, it's down to you and one other. I'm like, oh, yay, I'm so excited. And then she was down. She's like, such a tough agent. So I said, I am so happy for you. I'm sure you chose an amazing agent who is going to just do a fabulous job marketing your home. I wish you the best. If anything changes, please let me know. Best, Kim. And
For
if it
sure.
doesn't sell, great. I said, if I find a buyer at one of my other listings, I'll make sure to bring them by. I'm not sad. I was professional. I'm like good because I have plenty of business. I don't really need to stress out about a crazy person. So anyway, when you put this on there, so you've got this, you've got your high-end brochures, you've got that. So anyone in the neighborhood, I've gotten listings because they're like, wow, I pulled the flyers and your marketing was way better than it. Oh, this right here, guys, it's under $25. $25. So if you don't want to even put the big brochures or the big flyers in, and if it's not in my farm area and it's under a certain price point, they're just going to get a regular flyer, but it's going to be heavy cardstock and like this. And that would be my cheap flyer. These are like 25 or 30 cents at Bear. They're so cheap. And Go Printing, that's another company that's pretty affordable too. But even like a normal listing that's not my farm area is still going to have a nice brochure, a nice flyer.
Mhm.
And then on
Can I jump in just for a second, Kim,
Yes.
real quick? Because
Yeah.
Craig, I know your arm got tired. You had your hand raised there for a long time. So go ahead. Did you have a question you want to jump in there?
First of all, I'd like to know what coffee she's drinking. And second, what are you paying, Kim, for Matterport walkthroughs? I've only done one in my life, and it was fairly expensive.
Yeah, so we bought the camera.
Oh,
So we bought the camera, so we do them all in house, so we can control it. We've probably had that camera 10 years now.
oh wow.
It's paid for itself 1,000 times over. They'll run
Sure.
anywhere from, I would say, 200 on a small house up to 500 on a bigger house. Takes about an hour, hour and a half. Goes
Yeah.
on a tripod and it scans. They have a newer camera that's a few $1,000s. It's a little bit more expensive, but if you're going to do more than 10 listings in a year, it's going to pay for itself in the first year.
Yeah.
And you're going to have total control over it. But sometimes people put it in packages, but it's probably going to run you 200 to 400 depending on where you live. But I just bought it and we just do it. Sometimes I do it myself. Sometimes my team does it. It's usually better if they do it because the problem, Craig, with me being as outgoing and I'm a high I, high D, and I don't have great attention to detail. Like I want things to look really good if it's going to have my name on it. I just don't want to take the time to create it. And so that's like
I'm the same way.
my husband's like an SC, so he's like the perfect balance for me. But we
Yeah.
drive each other crazy sometimes. But because of that, you can actually look to even buy probably a used one if you wanted to. They're pretty bulky and they're like this big and they go on a stand. But that's a really nice point of difference. And if you're in a market where a lot of people are moving in and out, a cinematic and a Matterport is really helpful if you've got a lot of flux. They're probably in Colorado Springs with the military. and everything. You probably have a good influx of people there for Jeff and Caleb. But those are things that you can do that set yourself apart, especially if they're PCSing from somewhere else. You've got that opportunity.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're
That's a
welcome.
great idea.
I had a quick comment. One is if you're in a state that has title companies, a lot of them, have things that you can utilize. Like, so we have one here and I just went through it. They have a whole site that they give you, like you have your own login, you have your own, so you can farm neighborhoods, and they actually have it all integrated with the one here has it integrated with Bear Printing. So everything that's created can immediately be sent there, so it's really
hands off,
easy and hands off. Yeah.
like plug and play.
The other thing, Kim, I wanted to ask you is, so you're doing a lot of the mailings and all of this to get the to get the listings. And I know you're doing like the flyers in the, the signs in the yard and all of that. Are you doing other things as far as your marketing to sell the listings?
Oh yeah. Well, so the listings, so we'll like boost the listing, boost it on Facebook, that kind of thing. We'll do open houses. I double-ended one of my listings last week, $2.5 million waterfront. From my open house. I had like 50 people through the door. People are like, open houses, they don't work. They do work. We do a lot of signage. Well, let me show you really quickly here. Here's my $8.5 million listing that I have. It's in Bellevue, which is east of Seattle. See the shine on that, the gloss?
Mhm.
It's a beautiful flyer. And then on the brochures, you have the Matterport walk through the video on the floor plan on the back and all of that. So this is something that's really top notch and high speed on those nicer listings. So that's the glass coat that we do from Bear. So I just wanted to show you that. So yes, so we do boosts. We boost the listing. We put it on YouTube. So all of our videos are put on YouTube. So you can go to my YouTube channel too if you guys want to see. And I need to do more with YouTube than I'm doing now. YouTube's a big thing. It's even getting more increasingly popular. I mean, it's been popular for a decade, but it's really a point of difference. And if you have video where you're speaking, and the thing is too, not all of us are comfortable on camera on your video, right? Not everybody's comfortable on camera. You can always shoot the video or have maybe a videographer. And the thing is too, if you can't afford like a real professional one that's 500 or 1,000 or 1,500, look at your local community colleges or JCs for someone that's in a program with marketing or film or anything like that that's wanting to build a repertoire. You could probably get a kid that's doing an internship or something like that for a fraction. So you can do some things to kind of get the cost down and maybe even advertise it. Like talk to the teacher at the college, the local JC or community college that has someone in that division that's working on that, and they need to get repetition, and maybe they would need to make $100 or $200. And that's a good way for them to get some work in and build their portfolio while you're getting it done at a more affordable price. The other thing too is you can do a voiceover. So if you want to have your voice, it doesn't even have to be your voice, but you could even be in the video if you want to be. If you don't want to be in the video, don't be on the video. If you want to speak on the video, speak on the video. If you want your voice but don't want to be the one talking in front of the camera, you can actually do a voiceover and start talking about the house and the rooms that they can go ahead and put your voice over on the video that can go on your YouTube channel and on your social media as well, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of those platforms. So that's another thing that you can do. Here's that perma flyer I was telling you about. You can see the size. Here's my hand. So it's about 2 hands. So it would be 3 across. But this one was my listing. Oh, right here. There's my listing. So in this portion of this particular neighborhood, the neighborhood has 4,500 homes. There's probably 500 homes of the 4,500 represented in this little picture. But we took a drone picture and then we highlighted all of the other businesses in proximity to our listing and walking distance. So this can sit on the table at the listing, kind of showing where your house is in comparison to the hot spots in the area. You could do this like I'm 35 miles southeast of Seattle. So people are like, oh gosh, where's Bellevue? Where's Seattle? Where's whatever? They can actually pinpoint down to where it is so they can see the difference. So anyway, we'll hop out of this screen here a little bit, but you can do, just anything that you would want to do in here. And you don't have to be a Canva genius It's better to use a plug and play that no one's seen before than you try to go into our free Canva account and butcher something. Like here's a beautiful Mother's Day card, like Easter right around the corner. There was, daylight savings here that just happened. So I would highly encourage you to do these types of things. And like I said, if you cannot afford to mail them, get them and walk them. Here, this is a door hanger or a hanger for the open house. So you can put the QR code on it for the open house times, or maybe that's where your landing page goes. I mean, there's different things that you guys can do. 12 reasons to work with a realtor. So these are just all things, you guys, that separate you out. So when you go to these listing appointments and you're like, how am I going to win the deal? How am I going to be the obvious choice? By doing all of these things, everybody's going to have a similar CMA. I use Cloud CMA for creating my CMA book. Everyone's going to have a similar, CMA, right? And so that's really not your point of difference. I think knowledge of the neighborhood, knowledge of the area is obviously going to be crucial. So if you work in a neighborhood that has a lot of competition, if you work in a neighborhood that has a lot of competition, then and somebody's a subject matter expert and you don't know anything about that neighborhood, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So don't try to farm to a neighborhood that you literally know nothing about the homes, the prices. So before you start doing that, you need to be showing up and either go to open houses, do previews of the market. It's going to take you 3 to 6 months to get your chops. So, even like take flyers or print off an MLS flyer for that listing with pictures that you can put in a binder. And so maybe you're putting in that subdivision so you can go back and reflect and kind of familiarize yourself, make notes on it. So then as you're marketing, you're like, oh yeah, I saw that house. The one thing about that one, it was on the busy street. The neighborhood on that section was kind of run down. It had power lines behind it. It was a stop sign where there's like stop and go, stop and go, stop and go in front of the house. It had Corian countertops and the white appliances. It wasn't great. The hardwoods were pretty beaten up. So become a subject matter expert for that neighborhood. So start making notes, because when you're going to these listing appointments, they want to know that you are familiar with the homes in the neighborhood that you're comparing with. And so over time, it gets easier. You do something for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it gets easy. It's like riding a bike, right? But there's going to be a little bit of effort up front of you researching and, becoming the subject matter expert. I read something this last year that it said it takes 40,000 hours before you can become an expert. 40,000 hours. So I did the math. And Jeff and I are probably, anybody been in the business longer than 20 years other than Jeff and I? Even though we don't look like we've been in the business 20 years. Just kidding. Almost 25. Anyone? So if you get out your calculator, I want you guys to get out your calculators on your phone. So if you work, I don't work 40 hours a week. I probably really work. I'll just be easy on myself and say 50. And I would assume I took a day off, but I usually work half days. So let's just go by 6 days a week. Say 50 hours. I'm sorry. We'll do 50 hours a week times 52. And if you work 25 or 30, put 25 or 30. 50 hours a week times 52 weeks in the year times 25 years. I have 65,000 hours. And I think that's probably actually, on average, I work easily 50. And so even at 40 hours a week times 52 times, I'm just finishing my 24th year. That was 49,420 at 40 hours a week. I've worked way more than that. But I was like, oh, I'm actually an expert in my field. And so that's what they say, those 40,000 hours of doing the same thing to get the reps in that you can operate at that level with confidence. So you can't think that, I've been in the top 1% of our realtors in the state and in the nation, probably 18, 19 years. My third year in the business, I sold 101 homes. So I sold a lot of houses, and I did that with 3 young kids. If you're a part-time agent working 20 hours a week on your business, not in your business, you can't expect to make $500,000 a year, even $250,000 a year. So if you're making 50 to 100,000 a year and you're working 15 to 20 hours a week, if you want to get to the level of being a top 1% or 5% agent, you've got to put more time in. You've got to actually commit to it like it's a career, like you're showing up. So you need to treat this like a job, like you would, treat any other job you went to. You can't expect to be at an elite level and not be willing to put in at least 40 hours a week. You can't. You're lying to yourself, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. Like if you want to make, I've made over seven figures probably 10 times now, maybe 12, where, I've made over $1 million in commission. My highest was $1,700,000 in 2021. $1,730,000 was my commission for the year. The year before that it was $1,600,000, $1,500,000, $1,400,000, $1,400,000, $1,200,000, last couple of years it's been over $1 million, but just barely because of the market. But a couple of years, like 22 and 23, it dropped like in the 800 range, 900 range, which is great, right? It's really great. But I spend a lot on my marketing too. So you have to remember that's my GCI, not my net, right? So we invest a lot in the business to get that. But if I didn't have that investment of a couple $100,000 a year, I wouldn't have the seven figures to be earning, so it takes money to make money. But if you don't have a lot of cash at the moment, then what you do have is time. You have time, and you can't tell me that you don't have 6 hours a day to work in your business. If you're working another full-time job, then I would not tell your clients I'm working a full-time job and I will get to you when I get to you on my break, on my lunch break, and in the evening. No one wants a part-time agent. And if you are a part-time agent, that's fine if that's a season of life that you're in, or you're retired, but don't go to an appointment and expect that you're going to compete with someone like myself and say, I'm a hobbyist. I work 5 to 10 hours a week in the business. You can leave me a message between 10 and 11 and 5 and 6, and I'll call you back. And expect that someone like me is not going to come eat your lunch, because I will. And then you'll exploit that because that's your point of difference. You're a full-time committed professional. I get paid better than most doctors and attorneys, right? But I'm an expert in my field. I don't have a college degree. I have a year and a half of college. I was going to be a school teacher. But so that's the difference, is if you put the time in and you have expertise and you've got the numbers to back you, it doesn't matter what your level of education is. But if you do have a full-time job where you're trying to transition into real estate, I totally get that. And I respect the hustle and I respect that. You just do not tell other people that that's what's happening. So if that means you get up an hour early and you're sending out emails in the morning, it looks like you're at your desk working. You get up an hour early, you clear all of your emails, you respond to everything. You're proactive in your reach outs. Hey, I'm in meetings today between 8 and 10, 8 and noon. And then on your 10 or 15-minute break, you're returning calls and messages. You treat it like a business, and those little hours of your work, treat it like it was a listing appointment or a buyer consultation or showings. But you're going to have to work twice as hard to ever transition fully. But I don't think it's fair to the consumer if you're giving them part-time commitment and part-time knowledge and not becoming an expert at what you do. Like, you don't diminish don't diminish us as realtors by not being the best that you can be in your craft. Don't be afraid to do open houses. Like, if you're going to want to get your signs out in the neighborhood, like, open house, all that costs you is time. So sometimes no one shows up. Sometimes people show up. Video yourself at that open house. Make sure it's in the area that you want to farm and market. Don't do random, randos just all over the city. Like, try to stay concentrated. So every single weekend they're seeing your signs. If you're taking Sundays off, take Sundays off. I totally respect that. Just every Saturday work too. I've been every single weekend, 11 to 1, 2 to 4, 11 to 1, 2 to 4. I've had listing appointments before. I've had inspections after, or vice versa. Like, I'm working hard because I'm in a season of my life still where I want to get some money back in the bank because, the last few years have been hard on everyone. I bought a $3.5 million house right when COVID hit. I'm like, perfect, had money in the bank, and that got depleted because, my income got cut like 40, 50%, but it wasn't my expenses that got cut. It was my take home that got cut, right? So that depleted savings just like everybody else. So you have to just work harder. You have to double down. You don't give up. You double down and you do more. Yeah. But like, one of my clients, I met an open house a year and a half ago. They're looking at buying one of my $2.1 million listings, and I'll list their house for 1.5. And they're like, you are the only, and they're like, are there any other agents in our market? Because you are the only one all weekend that's had signs out. And I live on a lake, all four corners, everywhere, anywhere. Kim Fraser, balloons on it if it wasn't raining, from the Dollar Tree. So, so like, if you were to think there was no one else working, like literally no one else working in a 10-mile radius of my house. Yeah. It was crazy. I don't do a sign-up sheet either. It's like, and what's interesting? I've had so many people say, gosh, the agent comes in, they don't acknowledge me. They just jump right in. Do you have a realtor? Don't even ask if they have a realtor. It doesn't matter, because if their realtor is not as good as you, they will leave that realtor and come to you. So if you are knowledgeable and relatable and kind, you never want to lead like, hi, I'm Kim, I'm the listing agent. Do you have an agent? is so short-sighted. Your job is to be the tour guide, answer questions, and build rapport. And you will attract so many more buyers that way. So a couple different ways you can build rapport. You can do like a contest too, where you have like a little thing for them to fill out. Hey, we're having a little evaluation form. Would love to get some feedback. I have a $5 Starbucks gift card for you or something like that in exchange, or we're doing a drawing at the end of the day for something. And here's this little sign up sheet. If you could go ahead and help me, determine if we're priced well, if there's anything I can do to improve how the house shows. If you could write that down, we have a drawing at the end of the day for X, and we would love to include you. And then they'll write down their information, and there'll be a box that'll say like, do you have a realtor? Yes or no? Are you looking to buy? Just a few like little qualifying questions. And then if they want to enter that, that's kind of a non-pressure way. It works. When I have friends who do sign-in sheets. Like you can't get through the front door without signing in the sign-in sheet. Just say, oh, it's for, my buyer, especially if it's occupied. My sellers want to make sure they know everyone who walks through the home, for security reasons. But the funny thing is like they can give you bogus information. Like they can just, make up whatever they want. So I found that the easiest thing is try to build a relationship or a rapport personally, and then be like, oh, here's my card, or oh, here, I don't have business cards with me. Here's my QR code if you want to scan that. And that'll give you more information about the listing or something like that. And then you'll get theirs back and you can, accept theirs. But I mean, you can do them. I just am not great at sometimes asking for that, but you can have a sign-in sheet on the counter when they walk in. So I think there's different strokes for different folks, whatever your comfort level is. But you can do a sign-in sheet. You can do a little little survey. Okay, so when I started 24 years ago, the internet was a baby. Like we didn't have IDX feeds. We didn't have shared listings. There was no Facebook. There was no Instagram. There was no LinkedIn. There was nothing, So when I started back in the olden days, it was just very, just face to face. So I would just sit open houses and meet people and have cookies and, a flyer and cookies and water and coffee and, just talk to people and do you need help? And I've lived in the area for 20 years, 30 years. And I, specialize in this area. I know every third person, I don't tell them that, but you just get out there and you do the reps and just build a relationship, one relationship at a time. But Brent has great tips as well. There's some great open house, scripting and things like that. Adam, my sponsor at EXP, he kind of plays it cool. He hangs back in the kitchen. He's not like greeting him at the front door, like, hey, how's it going? Not jumping on him. He's just kind of a chill, and then he provides information. Oh, I'm sure you've seen all of the off-market listings. I'm sure you're aware of all of the off-market listings. Well, what do you mean the off-market listings? It's the expired and canceled, in the area that they do not know. But he's like, oh, I'm sure that you've kind of seen the off-market list. Well, no, there's an off-market list. Yeah, if you want to tell me what you're looking for, I'm happy to pull together some off-market listings for you that no one else right now is able to see, and then see if there's anything. And then you can call the listing agent on those and say, hey, is your guy still willing to, sell the listing? But it looks like it's a point of value that you're able to provide them for listings that weren't able to sell the prior year or the year before that. So that's one thing that he does that kind of differentiates himself. Can't even say differentiates himself. And then another thing that he has is like a buyer thing on his computer. My sponsor's Adam Koth, Cothes, and he'll have his computer up and he has a buyer's guide. And he's like, I'm sure you're probably aware of all of these different things and how important it is to, through the process of buying and making sure you're not missing anything. No other agent's doing it. So then they're like, well, what do you mean? Like there's a whole list of things. And then if their agent hasn't taken the time to go through that and you're taking the time to educate them on the process, that's one more kind of ball in your court that you can help them. Adam would be an interesting person for you to have on, Jeff, and have him kind of do that open house approach and how he goes through his setting an appointment with them and going through his buyer consultation. That's another way that really can help you guys attract people from those open houses.
Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the goal